So we played a very important role as part of APC in talking about the best practice for on countering abuse, because we feel just a little bit passionate about the internet and our right to play and speak and be in this space and multiple spaces and how it's understood. So, and we have been told for a long, long time that it's not our space, and the way that that gets told to us varies dramatically. That's why we got involved with the Best Practice Forum. So we called for, we've been doing a lot of work around it, but we wanted to also invite other inputs, people who aren't necessarily aware about the Best Practice Forum and internet governance. What's this strange animal? And so we got together around a Twitter chat where we were inviting people from all over the world to participate and talk. And they decided, as a group in this process, transparent process, you know, everything up on that IGF site, you can consult, you can see the video conversations, you can see the transcripts. It's all about transparency. We like that. So they decided, those people decided, and we, to use the Take Back the Tech hashtag. It's been used for a long time. It's not that we own it, it's a hashtag. But it's been used in this vein for many years. So some people who say they're part of the Gamergate club, and based, we are supposing mostly in the United States, decided that they were very upset about this UN organization called APC, who obviously has enough funds to control the world, who was really calling for global censorship of men's voices. And they decided to have, in fact, what we wanted was to shut down anonymity. In fact, all feminists can't listen to any sort of criticism, and basically attack the conversation. And the initial dialogue and messages were amusing in their ignorance and ridiculousness about the IGF, about transparency. It's like, oh my God, this website has everything published on it with no controls, say the guys in their Chan chat. But what they were able to do was send, in just under 24 hours, and a very small group of people and accounts, but lots of bots, over 25,000 tweets. That kind of makes it difficult to have a conversation with the hashtag, right? We did. We went ahead and had that. And as you know, once you set something out there, escalation can happen. And as there were different parts of it, it did escalate from those sort of, clouding messages and, the same old, to much more intense misogyny, definitely generalized threats around the hashtag, and then direct threats, definitely Muslim xenophobia, definitely rape threats, sexualized images, all the things that, and of course, feminazi was right away inserted. There was also an expose video with information from the BPF process, the Best Practice Forum process. They even infiltrated the public meeting saying they were reported from The Guardian in South Africa. Some, little white man's voice from the United States saying, I'm a reporter from The Guardian in South Africa, with a US accent. They got to the point, however, and I think this is important, they took the time, and a lot of it, not only to make the videos and all of these things, to put together with other people, but there was a total of 98 comments on an IGF paper, on the Best Practice Forum paper. And I think anyone here at the IGF can say, wow, that was impressive feedback. And of course, all of those have to be taken seriously and looked at and analyzed, and we did. And that's why it's such a transparent and informative process. There was also an attempt at a brute force attack on the IGF site. And other fallout, and other spaces and other places that we occupy. I think that probably this particular attack didn't get much traction because, some people were like, hey, wait a minute, you're saying they're not in favor of freedom of expression, but look at, they're part of the Internet Rights Charter. So it was confusing even for some of the Gamergate community about why. So, but when they let us know very nicely that they were about to, ruin our lives, literally, they wrote us a letter. For us, it's different, right? Take Back the Tech campaign has existed. It's made up a whole bunch of different women's rights activists, people who are concerned about digital security, who have varying levels of digital security practice, but they're informed. APC, has its sights behind deflect. There's different levels of security in our network. So what this type of an attack means for us is really different than if it's on one single women's rights organization, an abortion rights group, if it's on a particular woman, a journalist. It's a very different reality to have to deal with 25,000 tweets. And I'm not saying that this was a minimalist attack, and I'm not saying that there were not threats and there were not aspects that were very violent to this, but it was different, again, because of the context and who it was against, and because of the incredible solidarity that we received from Take Back the Tech campaigners, from different parts of the internet rights and internet communities, but mostly from women's rights organizations. So it's a whole different reality than, I think, what a lot of women who are individually facing this sort of violence have to deal with. I think also that the fact that we as campaigners responded from everywhere in the world in many different languages, because that's what Take Back the Tech is all about, was very confusing for these people. Oh, they're speaking, and so this was something they were not also used to, which is why we assume they're based in the US. But I think our biggest concern was people were supposed to be in a chat where they were supposed to be talking about experiences they knew about, and how safe were they going to be from doxing? How much were their privacy configurations up to speed? And that was why we were really concerned that people would get outed and attacked. And in fact, many people who wrote to us privately about solidarity said, we can't participate because we're concerned about that too. But interestingly, a lot of people said, we can't participate because frankly, we don't have time to deal with this, and we don't really think it's worth investing the effort to deal with jerks like this. And other aspects. Of course, we had back channels, encrypted, secure channels, other strategies that were involved. But I think that it's important to say, when we saw this happen, and it's very linked to everything that Gabrielle said that we really echo with, is, we weren't reporting these people, oh, this awful person who sent me, this huge erect penis in anime and has said, well, how about a surprise butt fuck? It's on the Take Back the Tech hashtag. It's not a direct threat. We didn't necessarily report, but many of our followers were reporting, and some who were individually engaging were getting direct threats and harassment, and they were also reporting. And so the mechanisms were working in some cases. A lot of that stuff was absolutely removed by the internet intermediary. So that affects documentation, and I think this is one of the key things that's hard to do and understand about those takedowns. Can our internet intermediary let us know? Well, how much did you have to take down because of this particular attack? These are the sorts of things that we would like to hear more about. And I just want to say, and this is not just a freedom of expression issue, it's about a lot of rights, and what happens is, because it happens online, it gets framed as if it's only a freedom of expression issue. That is the topic, however, of this session, but I think it's really important that it is not a session about violence against women online versus freedom of expression. And when you use that word versus, you're going to get a hell of a lot of pissed off feminists.
Like me.
Thank you so much, Erica. That's so helpful, especially because I think this Take Back the Tech case is kind of a showcase, because the whole idea of discussing violence against women online was being labeled as being anti-freedom of expression. So I think it adds a lot to this discussion of being not